As I've drawn up. That's not how that works. What is this? Hi! I'm so glad you're here. Tiny story time. When I moved back home, my Christmas tree from my apartment was stored in one place for a very long time, completely in one piece, untouched. And when it was finally time to come out of storage to be decorated for Christmas, I found out the top of it had been taken off and put somewhere else, and I couldn't find it. So I just had the bottom half of a Christmas tree, and I called it my Christmas shrub. Eventually we found another Christmas tree, like tiny Christmas tree, at a garage sale, and I just kind of haphazardly attached it to the Christmas shrub to make a full Christmas tree. The only thing is, at the slightest touch, it would fall over. So it wasn't exactly the most secure Christmas tree, but I mean, that's pretty relatable if you ask me. But last Christmas, my family upgraded their Christmas tree, so I got their old one, and I've been very excited to decorate it. It has a fun little remote that I can switch the lights, the colors, and it has a setting that it can even like alternate in between them. I'm super excited about it. It's bigger than my old Christmas shrub Frankenstein tree, and the ornaments that I have, I wouldn't say are exactly covering, so it looks weirdly sparse. So I thought it would be fun to make some Christmas ornaments. Now, I just redecorated the corner that the Christmas tree is in, so I was trying to think of a way to kind of decorate the tree to go with the rest of the corner. And as we all know, I love a theme. So I was trying to decide what kind of theme I wanted this to be, given that the living room is kind of decorated in like fairy, witch, cottagecore, Ghibli, whatever style. Fantasy. We'll just say fantasy. And as far as a theme for the Christmas tree to go with the theme of the corner, I thought it would be fun to kind of imagine what it would be like if fairies celebrated Christmas. I imagine that they have a human in their care, and the human used to celebrate Christmas and they miss it. So the fairies kind of try to take their idea of Christmas and make it so that the human can celebrate. I don't know, I'm thinking way too deeply about it, but that's kind of what was in my brain. So these are some of the ideas I jotted down. The traditional Christmas colors are green, white, and red, and I think that actually works really well with a fairy-ish theme, because you have red and white mushrooms, you have red and white poinsettias, poinsettias. Poinsettia, okay. You have red and white poinsettias, you have green leaves, green plants. So I think the red, white, and green color scheme kind of translates pretty well with this kind of fairy tale theme. Some of our decorations will be sewn, some of them will be sculpted, some of them will be cotton sculpted, some of them will be painted, and some of them will be felted. I'm gonna start with the cotton sculpting. And the reason why is when I tried this for the first time, it was also the last time I've ever done it, it took 3 days or so to dry. We're gonna do it first so that it can dry in the background while we make everything else this week. There's a lot to do this week, so I'm gonna go get to work. Oh dear. I thought from the last time I did this, and after watching Rachel Maxey's video where she was doing this, that I would have learned a trick or two, but I don't think that was the case. I was excited to try it again, and I don't regret trying it again, but I don't know if cotton sculpting is gonna become a thing I do regularly. It's just so messy, and I kind of hate the feeling of cotton. I think you're supposed to use cotton batting, but I don't have any of that, but I did have the cotton balls left over from the last time I tried to do it. I don't know why I thought it would be better the second time around. I'm sure it's something that with a lot of time and practice I could get much better at, but I'm not sure the textural nightmare is worth it enough for me. But I'm still glad I tried it again. I am not going to cotton sculpt the clothes, I'm just going to sew them. So I'm a little Christmas sweater or something. Since I had other things I had to do today, and that took much longer than I thought it would, it is now very late. So I'm gonna call it a night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello! It's the next day. Our little cotton sculpted abomination isn't quite dry yet. He's more dry than I was expecting him to be, but as usual, whenever I have something laying down, the back of it, because it's against a surface, isn't dry. So I flipped him over. He's even more horrifying on the back than he is on the front. But hopefully we'll be able to spruce him up a little bit and make him less terrifying. He doesn't look great right now, but instead of focusing on that, we're just gonna move on to the next part. I was kind of thinking about how much I love the cameos I made of Pearl and myself for Halloween. They're hanging in the living room, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to make some ornaments that look like little cameos of fairies and maybe some woodland creatures. So what I'd like to do is make some polymer clay frames and then draw some cameos to put behind them. And I'm gonna do the polymer clay stuff next because they'll probably have to cook for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. While they're in the oven, I can be making other stuff. Now, I do also want to make some little fairies, and I have to give credit to the artists behind the pigeon dolls. I saw that they were making some pigeon doll ornaments, and they're like pink poodle themed. The head, the hands, and feet, I think, are all 3D printed, but the bodies are felted. Hi. Hi. Coffee's not for puppies. What did you eat? Did you eat something off of the floor? You already had breakfast. No, you don't get two. You're not a hobbit. I asked you, did you eat something you weren't supposed to off of the floor? That's very suspicious. Their process kind of inspired me to make my fairies the same way. I love felting, and I don't think I've ever tried to make a human shape with felting before, so it should be interesting. But I think I might try to make the head and hands out of polymer clay as well. So while I'm making the frames, I'm gonna try to make the heads of the two fairies. I don't even know what color wool I have. Might pose a problem. But first we're gonna start sculpting. It's very late, but both of the fairies are nearly finished. I still have to attach the head and hat of the second one, and then the first one's... she's okay. Her face is freaking me out a little bit, so I do need to paint them both. And before I call it a night, I'm going to really quickly dip some iridescent fabric into some fabric stiffener and set it out to dry overnight so that I can eventually cut some fairy wing shapes, not only for my little fairies here, but to stick out of the tree so it looks like there are more fairies hanging out in the tree. Is that going to translate? I have no idea. But it'll be shiny, hopefully, and pretty, hopefully. We're just gonna try it out and see how it looks. But we'll check in on that tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Hello! It's the next day. Are you going to lie down, or are you just going to stay right there? Because you feel like you're going to fall off. If you lie down, you might not fall off as easily. Coffee is not for puppies. Okay? Like, I have coffee. It's not good for you. Good for me. There's still so much left to do today, and I think I'm finally reaching the point where I'm questioning whether or not I put too much on my plate. I don't think so. I still have to finish assembling the fairies. Oh, I have to check on the fairy wings. Our little cotton sculpted abomination is still not completely dry. Hopefully, eventually, when I can paint him, it will help. But looking at him over there drying on the table, I don't know at this point. I was about to say that I was going to leave all the painting for last, but there are several things that need to be painted, and I think it's going to take them each a different amount of time to dry. I kind of feel like I should get all of the painting out of the way now, and then while those are all drying, I'll do the sewing. However, there's also painting that has to be done on whatever is sewn. So I think I'm going to do the sewing first, and then do all of the painting all at once. Yeah, I think that's the most efficient. Listen, you can look to me for many answers, but there's one thing I do know, is that you're very cute. So I am going to start with the sewing today, and then we'll just paint everything after that's done. There's still so much to do, so I'm going to get to work. Basically all of the painting is done. The only things I have left to paint are the cameos and the gingerbread cookies made out of cardboard. I think I might do 4 or 5 of those. I haven't decided what shapes yet, but I think I can do at least 4. But I'm gonna do all of that tomorrow because I need to call it a night. So I'll see you then. Hello! It's the next day. We're in the home stretch. I still have to make all of the cardboard gingerbread cookies. I still have to draw all of the silhouettes for the cameos and then glue those all together. I have to finish painting and clothe our little cotton sculpted abomination. He looks much better with a coat of paint, I have to admit. He doesn't look great, but he looks better. He looks better with a coat of paint. I'm gonna make him a tiny sweater from some leftover scraps from making Pearl's sweater last week. And then basically everything else is just going to be adding little loops to hang them from the Christmas tree. So yeah, still quite a— oh! I also have to make a topper. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I don't have anything at the— I'm gonna sneeze. Oh! I don't have anything at the top of my tree right now. I'm not quite sure what that's gonna look like, but I think I'm just gonna focus on the ornaments for now, and then maybe something will come to mind while I'm working. So that's the plan, and I'm gonna go get to work. I just got done making and adding 2 little mushrooms to add to the tree topper, and I think I'm gonna call it good, so let's go decorate the tree. The whole fairy Christmas idea kind of worked better than I thought it would when I first thought of it, because I hadn't really figured out how I would combine those two things. And once I thought too deeply about it, I think that actually helped make it work. I had forgotten in the intro to say that I was also going to crochet ornaments. This video felt like it was a little bit all over the place, but when there are so many different pieces going on all at the same time, it was kind of hard to keep things straight. So although it was a bit chaotic, I hope it was enjoyable. I also failed to explain that the tree topper was one that we had in the closet that we just hadn't used in a long time, so I just decorated it to look a bit more like the theme I had going. So luckily I had a tree topper on hand already that I could just kind of slightly alter to look like the theme I was going for. Even our little cotton sculpted abomination looks better than I thought he would. I wish I had made his eyes a bit smaller and a bit farther back, but he is cute, even though he doesn't look at all like the concept drawing I made of him. But he's his own thing, and that's okay. I did decide to make a print of this and put it on my TeePublic shop, so I'll link that below. Other than our questionably cute frog friend, I wish I could have made the fairy wings a bit bigger, and I want to make them glow somehow, so maybe I'll do that next year. But other than that, I really like how everything turned out, and if you do too, you can let me know by hitting the like button. And if you want to see what I'm doing next and join the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know when I post, hit the notification bell and YouTube will let you know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!